Oh, there we go. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Mornings in the Lab with Keith and Friends, rocking the new opener. I made some music yesterday. Hey, why the 9-minute rule might fix your morning focus and your sleep. Plus, yeah, there we go. Ooh, love that beat, baby. Listen to those strings. Plus, we got wearable tech that runs on your skin. I got a rant from Marty. Marty might be judging statues in Times Square. I'm eager to hear Marty's point of view on that one. Yeah, hey, they just put up statues of women out in New York City, and Marty's like, what the hell's going on over there? We got the opinion of the morning from Christopher Martin coming up. Branding wizard Will Harris joins the show as well here today. He took a pair of red kicks. Yeah, red kicks, red running shoes, bold bets, and a $900,000 hustle playbook coming up on the show. We're going to get into why I embrace yoga here today and the benefits I have had throughout last number of years since I started my yoga experiment. We're talking chia water, the super drink or digestive demolition, and the wrinkle figure fighting superfood hiding in plain suit. Yeah, Jimmy, I'm struggling with my words this morning. Just one of those mornings. Jess lost last night. We're going to talk about sweating, not starving, the science of cellular renewal without fasting misery. You know, Johnny doesn't talk about fasting. Johnny talks about eat. Conversational debt, how the unfinished talks drain your team energy, what to do about it, and all that, plus the community corner. We might have some dad jokes, probably shouldn't tell. We got one very questionable sound effect along the way as well. Hey, this is Mornings in the Lab with Keith and Friends. John Anderson, Christopher Martin, and the gang. Jimmy, let's bring him up here. What's going on, boys and girls? No girls, just the boys. What's going on, Marty?
What's up, man? I like this beat, man. I'm loving it.
It's pretty good, eh? It's pretty good, eh?
Yeah, man. It's good. Good job, man. You know.
Thanks, buddy. Yeah,
usually you come up with some corny Canadian shit, but good job here, man.
I'm now a music artist. I'll just open up the old Suno application and started making music. So I think we're gonna launch a Mornings in the Lab soundtrack. It's gonna go along.
You mean you figured out how to make Chat GPT to mix music?
I figured it's funny actually. I figured out how to construct.
Come on, man. Come on. Let's go. We know any new fucking skill you have is because you got this thing so fucking dialed in.
You know, it's funny, Johnny. I'm laying in bed last night before going to bed, and I had something in my head. I'm like, type, press. Like, oh, hey, there's the new opening track for the show. Yeah.
Not bad at all.
It took me less than 30 seconds, which is pretty funny. Guys, how are you today? I'm excited to connect with the boys here today. What's shaking? Marty, I can't wait to talk to you about the statue in Times Square.
About what?
Oh, Johnny, some really educated human beings decided that they would go make a big statue and put it in Times Square. Just out of the blue. And our beloved Christopher Martin has an exceptional opinion. I saw him at greatness. I really want to hear the feedback he got from that opinion that you so eloquently articulated. But Jimmy, without further ado, before we get into the conversation with the boys about the weekend, Jimmy, just run this video for a couple seconds. Don't run the whole thing. We want to see Marty kind of get off on the statue. Jimmy, let's just run this video for a couple seconds here.
Of a black woman has been placed in the middle of Times Square in New York, created to represent inclusivity. The black community and black women specifically about to cancel me, so buckle your seatbelts. What in the big backbone Quisha behavior is going on right here? The fact that they gave us a statue like this just shows we got low standards for ourselves. I ain't seen another statue like this from another race in America. This is just prime example that across the board, our women are out of shape. I'm sorry, but it is what it is. All the obesity encouragement.
So, Marty.
Quick question. I couldn't hear it all, so I want to make sure I was speaking. Yeah. So were you talking about the statue in general? Hasn't done any fucking squats and clearly been eating at Dairy Queen, or are you saying the female statue? Are you? I couldn't hear what you're saying, brother.
Well, we got 56%. Both, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, that's what I thought. Okay, but I just want to make sure before the conversation started. I just couldn't quite hear it all.
Yeah,
a little echo. Yeah,
both. Yeah.
Yeah. No, and the fucking crazy part is, dude, I was in a hotel over the weekend, right? I never watch fucking TV, but if I'm in a hotel, obviously I can't go to YouTube and educate myself. So I just turn on the fucking TV. Jesus Christ, the commercials. It's like every fucking person representing a product, whether it's fucking dishwashing detergent or whatever else, They're fucking lard asses.
It's crazy.
God damn it!
Man.
What is the problem here? I mean, I get that America's fat, totally, but Jesus Christ, is that what you want them to fucking shoot for? I get there. Someone's got to relate to an ad. I fucking get it.
It's crazy,
Jesus
man.
Christ, relate to the better version of yourself, for God's sake. Relate to where you want to go. You know, don't just fucking settle for where you currently are and probably where you're going to stay.
Like the statue.
So very much so. Very much so.
The statue goes up there and you see this video in your feeds. And I got to think your reaction was, what the fuck is that?
Yeah, it's crazy because we got 56% of black women are obese. More than
what's
half.
the one for white? Well, it's got to be close for white too.
It's not too far off. It's not.
Yeah,
too
I was
far
gonna
off.
say at this point, I don't think it makes a difference what color you are. If you live in America, you're fucking fat. The statistics say, I'm not trying to be rude, but the statistics say you got a better chance of being overweight than not just by what you just said.
It's easy. It's easy to be overweight, you know. So, and you know, I got a lot of black female clients, and the culture is just so detrimental to their mindsets, and even to down to the men. Whereas in dating, you know, you got guys telling the black women, "Hey, I don't want you to lose weight. I want you to keep your ass fat," you know. So a lot of women listen to this bullshit to stay overweight, to stay 40% body fat. So you put a statue up in Times Square. One, this is going to encourage younger women to stay fat because we got young fat girls now, right? And now you look at us, look at the outsider, even international tourist site, people from outside of the country coming here. You look at it, that's going to be the image that represents us, which is super fucking embarrassing. So I don't know how you're not pissed at that.
But brother, I totally agree with everything you say. But on a comical note, my saying is, if you don't weigh 150 pounds, at least you're out of the running for me. But keep in mind, you know, the females that I like are in shape.
No, we're not talking about 150. We talking about 250.
Yeah, no, I got you. But most guys, they're wanting these little string beans.
Oh no, I'm not saying that at all.
I'm just making a joke. It's like most guys want this little string bean, but that fucking little spring, they got more hanging over their fucking belt line than the chick even weighs. What are you gonna do?
That's true too. That's another topic.
I mean, what are you gonna do? Put some sort of a lift system on your fucking belly so you can actually have fun with this 115-pound chick?
So
dad bod.
Hey, you're hanging out with Keith, John, and Marty. Will Harris, I see you there in the green room, brother. I see you hanging out in the green room. I think we got you both. Jimmy, I think we got them both on the vertical and the horizontal, which is great. We got Will joining us here in a few. Guys, the guy took a pair of red sneakers and no doubt turned it into basically about $1 million business. We're going to hear his secrets coming up here in a few moments. So, Marty, what was the point of that statue?
It's supposed to represent inclusivity. So it's supposed to be a power symbol for black women and plus size women. That's what it is.
Can we just go put a statue up in the middle of Times Square and put a flag on it and say, "Hey, everybody, here's our inclusive symbol"?
I guess so. Well, but I'll tell you this, Keith. I may be going to New York next weekend, and if I do go, guess who's taking a picture next to the statue?
Yes, you are, brother. Yes, you are. Yes,
and it's going to be a nice caption to go with it too.
There you go. Going from that to yesterday, wonderful Mother's Day weekend we just wrapped up. Johnny, get a chance to send a love note to your wonderful mother, and you guys have some time with Terry and the girls. And Marty, you get a chance to spend some time with your mom as well.
That's a daily occurrence for me, brother.
I know it is. Yeah. So how did you make yesterday special, Johnny?
Well, I don't know if I can talk about that on this show.
Oh,
oh my God. This guy, man.
Well, listen, my deal is simple. You know, I said to Terry, I said, hey, you know, how do you want this weekend to go?
Yeah.
So we went out to a really fucking cool breakfast on Saturday morning before we left Vegas.
Why was it a cool
all
breakfast?
Sorts of fucking crazy. What's that?
How was it a cool breakfast? What was cool about it? About the breakfast?
It was just one of these like really over the top. I can't remember the name of the place, but it was like the eggs Benedict, like the crazy. Like I had an eggs Benedict with short ribs underneath it over cauliflower rice. Like where do you get to fucking order something like that,
dude? You're
sure. She had corned beef hash under hers with, I can't remember what she put underneath hers, but it's like because I mean, eggs Benedict is fucking for me, oh baby. But when do you get to juice it up like that?
Johnny, we actually are from the same household. You talk about eggs Benedict, I immediately have a craving. I can crush a dozen eggs Benedict like instantly. Johnny.
Oh, dude, it's fucking cracked. Well, here's the thing,
Marty.
Terry knows what I like, and this fucking chick can take a recipe and make it. She makes the best hollandaise sauce I've ever tasted.
Oh.
You know, and then she does is she'll find these non-carb, you know what? Because she knows if I'm watching carbohydrate, depending on where I am. She'll find these non-carb versions to put underneath it. Like she does the cauliflower rice. She'll find different keto breads and shit. And it's like, fuck, woman. God damn it. In a good way when I say that. You know?
Yes. Oh, man. I love eggs Benedict. Might be one of the greatest egg dishes ever invented. Marty.
I so agree. Agree.
I got a mission, Marty. Enjoy some eggs sometime in our journey together in life. And I swear, Marty, the first meal I'm going to introduce you is eggs Benedict, man. Oh,
hold on, Marty. Did you hit that buzzer because you don't like it, or you never had it?
He doesn't eat eggs.
I hate eggs.
Well, the first problem with that statement, you're using the word hate.
Oh, you're right. My bad. Yeah.
Well, but
I don't have a preference for eggs.
There we go. I bet you if it was presented properly, it would be. It's like I don't like a plain boiled chicken breast, but if that son of a bitch is presented properly with the right sauces and shit, I'll gobble that thing right down.
No, Johnny, hold on, Mr. Brother. I'm correcting you. It's not a matter of what we sometimes like or don't like. Sometimes we just have to fucking eat the shit we just don't want to eat. So if it's a boiled chicken breast, you got to eat it.
I have no problem with this. I'm talking about my brother Marty over here, who's talking about what he can't do. Well, shit, man.
You told me to eat eggs.
Listen, I was in the high chair as a baby. My mom tried to feed me eggs, and I was spitting them out before I could even talk. So I was gonna be tough with that one.
I was having Kit Kat, Marty, as you know. I was eating Kit Kat growing up.
And that's why you were Husky Keith.
That's exactly why it was Husky Keith, yes. Yeah. With the Kit Kat. Good morning, Matthew. Roofer, good to see you in the feeds here, brother. Good morning, good time, good to see you as well. Lady Drew, I see you there as well. We got Matthew Roof coming in. Boys, here you go. Here's a tennis ball hitting to you guys. There's a thing called skinny fat, too. Seen 112 people. I have seen 120-pound people with a spare tire. Oh, yeah, true story. Walking around just with hanging over on the old T-shirt and so forth, right? So, Marty, how about Mother's Day for your mama? Did you get some time to spend some time with mama? I saw your picture on Friday, man. Mom's looking at the laundry machine, and you're like, hey, what the hell?
Bro, I had every intention of getting on here, and it just, like, my washing machine broke. Can I come over? So then she comes over, and then she's like, no, well, you got to take these clothes up, and I don't know which bag I want to choose from. So it just threw me off completely.
That's crazy. I haven't finished your story. I got to tell what about my mom. That's crazy.
Oh yeah. So that's why I missed the show on Thursday, man. I was here getting ready, and I couldn't. Yeah.
There you go.
So I talked to my mom yesterday morning.
Yeah.
She's like, she lives close to my oldest brother.
Yeah.
I said, so what do you guys, because my brother always will do something with her in person.
Yeah.
Because he's close by. I said, what are you and Jim going to do? She said, well, you're going to like this story. I said, okay, drop it on me. You know, and Jim always does cool shit. Maybe he's going to take her to one of his friends' restaurants or something like that, you know. She said, oh, well, my washing machine broke. So Jim's going to come get me and my laundry, and we're going to go do all my laundry at his house for the day.
See? But I had a good Mother's Day. We actually went out to eat on Saturday.
Oh, nice.
We went to Annapolis, Maryland.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. The capital, and we like ate seafood right on the water and stuff. So that was cool.
That's awesome.
And
that's
then
the way to go.
yesterday we just kicked it in the house, and I just hung out over there for a while. And we talking a lot of shit. So
once you start eating seafood that's just fresh out of the water, it's hard to do it any other way.
Johnny, Marty, I spent some time in the Galapagos a few years back, and you guys remember ceviche?
Oh, fuck, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm a prairie boy. Never had it in my life. Had my first bowl of ceviche at some human's house in Galapagos. We got hosted by a local family. Guys, she was in the kitchen, like the mama was making ceviche.
Oh, did you say some human's house?
Yeah, some human's house.
So what, you fucking some alien's house? Where else fucking was you?
Yeah, he's been using AI too much, so now he's saying humans and shit like that.
That's good shit.
Yeah. He was making the ceviche. Guys, I don't know if I ever had better fresh seafood my entire. I couldn't have enough of it, and from that moment on, I was just chasing ceviche the whole trip, and because it was just unbelievable.
Is that where the iguanas are in the Galapagos?
Yes.
That's what I thought, right? Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I'm telling you right now, brother, if you like ceviche, at some point you got to come down to the place in Mexico because there's this thing. There's this road called the Malecon, and it's basically just drives right down the beach of the downtown San Felipe and all of these, there's so many seafood restaurants. It's called the Tower. I don't know what that's how I refer to it, and they understand what I'm saying. But it's like this. It's probably about that tall, and it's about that big around, and it's just layers of different type of ceviche.
Oh,
it's fucking insane! Like the very top one, it's got like prawns, it's got like scallops, it's got octopus, and it's got avocado on the top. And the crazy part is, it's like, oh God, $8.
Oh, get out of here! Get out of here!
Unbelievable.
I'm getting hungry. Well, listen, we got a guest coming up here, guys. What do red Nike Air Maxes, a $900,000 sales turnaround, and the power of positive vibes all have in common? They're part of Will Harris's secret sauce. John, Marty, after the accountability check-in, we're going to meet Will. Today, we're going to serve it up hot. Going to meet Will Harris. Coming up in a minute. Jimmy, let's do the accountability check-in. We'll bring Will Harris back up here in a quick minute or so to get into a conversation about how the guy made a little bit of cash. Hey, guys, whose rules are you living by? I ended my hockey career at 16. Oh, I remember that one. Ooh, baby. That was a big discussion. Yeah. Falling out with my old man for a while. I never finished university. No, I didn't. Didn't finish it. Nope. Started making money. And I got to tell you, I have disappointed people along the way. Yep. The whole journey. You know it. Roofie, you know that journey. My parents, my mentors, my close friends. Disappoint. Because truth is, I didn't always follow the rules. Whose rules? Their rules. Yeah. Those social expectations that everyone lives by, that everyone thinks that you should live by. Oh, you should go to school. Oh, you should go to college. Oh, you should get married. Get a mortgage, then you retire. Repeat. As Johnny likes to say, what are we living a life for so that we can race towards retirement? Nah. Here's the thing. Those weren't my milestones. They were somebody else's. They seem to be the default script for much of us. And most people follow it without ever asking who wrote the script. We get up and we get going. The reality was, the more aware I became, the more I started questioning all of it. Whose path am I on? Does it actually serve? And what happens if I choose a different route? Am I living a life that excites me or just the one that looks right? And I've taken those risks that make people feel uncomfortable. And I've also built a life that feels like mine, because regret doesn't come from breaking the rules, you guys. It comes from never asking if those rules make sense to you in the first place. So I'm going to ask you again as you start your day. As you start your day without the snooze button, as you start your week, as you start the brand new loop. Roofie, good time. Lady Drew, whose rules are you living by? Everybody else's? Or are you doing yours? And if you're living by everybody else's, are you happy with those rules? It's a question that I'd invite you all to ponder as you go through your day today. Because I would imagine some of you are going to pause and go, I feel like I'm living somebody else's rules. All right. Jamie, let's keep it rolling, man. Today's guest is Will Harris. He's the founder of the Hustle Marketing and Design. And yes, he's the guy whose red sneakers are as legendary as his branding strategies. Will's not just helping businesses grow. He's helping them fall in love with their own stories again. From scaling a company from 10 to 110 employees to rescuing another from internal sabotage and skyrocketing sales to nearly $1 million. Will's approach is anything but average. We're diving into bold branding, purposeful passion, and why positive vibes might be the best marketing strategy you have ever thought of. Mornings in the lab. Keith, Marty, and John, we are excited to introduce you and welcome Will Harris to the lab. What's up, Will?
What's up, Will?
What's up, Will?
Can't hear us?
Will, we got you muted. Yeah, we got you muted, Will.
I don't think he can hear us.
Nope. All right, Jimmy, Will, we got you there, buddy. Will?
Hold on. Give him a second.
Yeah.
Can you hear us, Will? We can hear him.
We sure can. Jimmy, let's pull Will off. You chat with Will in the private chat here, and then we'll bring him back up here. No, I know he can't hear us. Yeah. Yeah. Well, we're gonna get you chatting. We're gonna get Marty chatting with you, or we're gonna get Jimmy chatting with you in the private chat there. We'll get you sorted out there, pal. Get you up and get you up on the
Is
show.
there a way that we could have Jimmy do sound check with these dudes before we bring them in?
He got to do it.
Yeah. Yes, and yeah, we'll.
I understand it's kind of our test. If you can't fucking figure the shit out, then maybe you're not supposed to be here. But this guy looks like he's a good one. He got fucking snagged, you know.
Oh yeah, we're gonna get Will all sorted out. I got no problems. I got no concerns about that. Jimmy will talk to Will in the private. We'll get him all sorted out there. As we know, we have there we go. Good. Okay, cool. Hey guys, so some of us wear wearables. I wear an Apple Watch. Some folks wear Fitbits. Some folks wear different kinds of devices all over our bodies. But guys, imagine a world where your smartwatch, your health patch, or even your earrings never need charging. Well, there is some work happening right now, guys, where there's power over skin, a breakthrough technology, Marty, Johnny, that is going to turn your skin into a power grid for wearables. So there's technology being developed right now that is going to allow us to put these wearables on, just like Star Trek, the stuff we grew up with, Johnny, where your body is transmitting power. It's sending high frequency RF signals across your skin, interacting and basically driving electricity to your device.
You know, I've heard I have no idea if this is true, but I've heard something about the fact that holding the phone to your head is actually worse than wearing an earpiece, keeping it away from your head. Like there's some sort of, shit that we're just starting to understand. I wonder if this is going to fall into that whole, it seems really fucking cool until we realize it's fucking.
It's funny, Johnny, right? Because yes, folks are concerned about the radiation and all the waves coming out of the phone. So it does make you wonder when we start, making our bodies facilitate power, whether there's going to be, folks concerned about that in the future, right? But
there's a good thing about having a big bicep. See, it's really difficult to hold this up here. So I've put the phone to my head so little in my life. I'm not too worried about it.
That's it. Yes, and Benzie, you're right. There's been talk about tumors coming from the phones, right? Hey, we got Peaches here in the community this morning. Peaches, how's it going with your partner? I know we had some chats with you a few weeks ago about some love life challenges going on there. So Peaches, love to have you here in the community here. Encouraged to hear what you have to say. And then Jimmy, we want to get that comment off the feed there. We don't want to have that human hanging out with us, which is great. Benzie, I see you there. Lady Drew, I see you there as well. Matthew Roofer and Scott Benzie. That's exactly it. Peaches, wonderful. Good to hear that things are going well with the home life with your partner. That's a good thing. We know that you had some troubles there a couple weeks ago, so good to hear that things are working okay for you. Johnny?
What?
Oh, I just
I thought you had something to say too. I was laughing at the comment that
well, you know what I was thinking about is that Keith was, and this is just kind of was thinking about this when he said Johnny. So calling that gentleman, or I should strike that word gentleman, calling that thing a human when he really was just some sort of a drone who just repeating behavior patterns that are completely silly. I think calling that guy human is a compliment.
Who's that?
The guy that you took the fucking comment down from.
Oh,
yeah, I was laughing at that.
It's because it's given that guy. That's not a human behavior.
No,
that's drone behavior. That's like small. I've been taught this really limited thought process, and I'm going to go try to spread this to drones who will follow my lead.
Douchebag behavior is what it
Definitely douchebag behavior.
Oh man,
I was going to say, is this new cell phone thing like the old microwave? Like don't stand in front of the microwave. That's what it sounds like.
Probably
same shit.
Probably.
Yeah, 100%. Same shit, right? Which is don't put your phone to your head and stuff.
Yeah.
Hey guys,
it's a good way for people to get distracted. Oh, the phone's going to kill me. The phone's going to kill me. The Big Macs I'm eating are fine because the phone's going to kill me.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, Peaches comes back with all the kinks have been worked out, guys. Thanks for all the advice. Yeah. Oh, and I noticed that you used the word kinks. Like I'm really intuitive that you've chosen the word all of the quote unquote kinks have been worked out. So I'm curious.
What was I want to know what was it that we said, because we said a few things. What was it that we said that actually helped?
Yeah,
I remember the conversation, but there was a few things we talked about.
Yeah, we suggested she go and sit on his face. Is what one of the things we suggested.
We suggested a whole bunch of things. So what was it that worked?
I must have missed that. I wasn't here for that.
Your face.
We never suggested that on this show since I've been here.
We got her. Well, Marty, the reality was that her partner wants to have much more sex than she is. Not that she doesn't want to, but she has some health concerns.
Tired.
Yeah, has some health issues. So she's tired from some health issues. So Johnny and Keith were giving some good old parental advice onto how to overcome it. And one of the things we suggested was just going to sit, and perhaps in a really convenient space. And
just for the record, that was Keith's suggestion.
Yes, that was my suggestion.
My suggestion was more I was more questioning what, if you're tired, was it have to do with how she's living her life with diet and whatnot. Keith went right for the jugular, just sitting on his face.
That's exactly it. Hey, do you guys follow Andrew Huberman at all? Marty, Johnny?
Yeah.
A little bit.
Yeah. I was so I was doing some reading over the weekend, and he was talking about understanding and syncing with your body's natural rhythms can optimize everything from mental clarity to emotional regulation. One of the things that Huberman talks about often is this idea of sunlight exposure. And Johnny, I was thinking about you when I was reading this. So you're up early in the morning, sun's not up there. At what point in your, and I'm serious with this question, at what point in your daily journey do you go and chase sun? Because I know how important habits and routines are, and sun exposure and vitamin D is a big part of it, right? It triggers cortisol spikes, regulates circadian rhythm. Where do you find sunlight in your journey of mornings, Johnny?
Well, I'm up hours before the sun comes
Yes,
up.
exactly.
And so obviously the going out in the sun right away, there's a whole bunch of really good reasons why you would do it. But obviously circadian rhythm is one, and I've got my circadian rhythm pretty dialed in. So when I'm looking for sun, it's obviously, I've been up for hours. There's a lot of other benefits to being in the sun, but having that sunlight in your eyes to say to your body, this is time to get up. Well, that happened 3 hours ago.
Yes.
So I just make sure that I guess what it comes down to is, I'm outside playing pickleball. I'm outside doing something because we need the sun. One of the things that I've just recently started doing, which is a little weird for me, I was used to wearing sunglasses.
Yeah.
We need those rays coming into our eyes.
Yeah.
It's for there's a whole lot of health benefits to it. So I've been trying to spend a little bit of time outside without my glasses on, which, God, I've been wearing dark glasses in sunlight since I can remember. So that's one of the newer things. Yeah. That's one of the newer things that I've been working on. But yeah, Huberman, he gets it, man.
Oh yeah, the guy's a fucking legend, man. I'm certainly a fan as well. Marty, where do you fit sunlight into your mornings? I know you're an early morning dude too. Where do you fit it into?
It's not really part of my day, man. I know. Once I get up, I get going, man. So I got my training business.
Yeah,
I'm here. Then I'm going to work. So I'm not spending too much time outside, honestly. Go ahead.
I bring it up, Marty and Johnny, because the science is saying we got to chase sun, and I agree with it. But what I thought was as important, and we talk about this all the time on the show, is you got to find what works best for you. So your routine, Marty, your routine, Johnny, my routine doesn't facilitate sun, right? So,
hey, man, I got melanin though.
There you go. Yeah,
I'm just playing.
Yes,
Yes, I would say in general, I don't really, as a whole, I would say 9 o'clock is probably AM is probably I'm asleep by 9 p.m. is the first time that I really get it, because Tara and I will go outside and have our morning coffee in the sun.
Same.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that's but just remember, Huberman's talking about getting in the sun right away. For many people, is because he's talking circadian rhythm is the top.
Yes.
One of the top things of that talk.
Yes.
But there's so many other elements. Like if you have a set bedtime,
yes,
which is more challenging for many people.
Yes.
That right there will set your circadian rhythm like a mother.
Yes. Well,
I'll say this though. Yeah. I do go outside on walks, and just to get out of the office and get my body moving and get some sunlight that way. So that is part of my day. But I guess I didn't really realize it because that's not. I don't know. I don't really think about that. I'm just like I want to get moving and get some fresh air.
It's one of those things that you're in tune with your body. So it's not like you think, fuck, I could go walk on a treadmill. Like, no, I want to go walk outside. You may not even know it, but that's what you're doing.
Well, and we know there's biocentric lighting now we can buy for our homes that replicate outdoor lighting, right? Matter of fact, I had a guest back a few months back, Kyle Harris.
But hold on. Jesus Christ. How about just fucking go outdoors?
No,
represent the lighting that's 10 feet away.
Get him, Johnny. Get him.
I don't disagree, Johnny, but for somebody like yourself who gets up first thing in the morning before the sun, or like myself, or if you're an athlete who's traveling, so you're traveling across time zones, right? So you're traveling from New York City to go play basketball in Los Angeles, and
these are people that take care of themselves, where this contraption is not going to fucking make much of a difference. That contraption is going to work for the people that are like not doing any of the things they need to be doing.
Mm-hmm.
That thing is like, for me, that's like giving a fucking whale a Tic Tac. It doesn't fucking matter.
Yeah.
There's too many other things I do where that's not going to show up.
Fair. However, if we introduce some artificial biocentric lighting to your mornings, it may have some positive effects on you.
Yeah, and there's all sorts of other little fucking details that I would get distracted with that may add some fucking little benefit that I may never notice. So I stick with this shit that I know works, and I don't get distracted by the shiny goddamn objects.
Yes. But we know that circadian rhythm and light first thing in the morning is good for us. So if we can find ways to...
We ought to ask Huberman, a set bedtime, is that going to be more powerful than getting light first thing in the morning? Let's ask him.
Yeah, we should. Yeah, 100%.
But keep in mind that bedtime has got to be fucking hard. It's not this. Oh yeah, I go to bed about this stuff. No, 8 o'clock. You know, when I was in Vegas doing work over there, and everybody that I came in contact with was like, holy shit, you go to bed. This is like a hard line. Fuck yes, it's a hard line. If there's something I planned after my bedtime, okay, I'll deal with that. But nobody's keeping me up past my bedtime.
Now you got to get there, man. It's important. I agree with you 100%. Hey, we got Peaches come back at the comments. All suggestions were done. Peaches says, especially the sitting. Good job, Peaches. Health has been better too. Health has been better too.
Is going to start rocking.
It's more protein and healthy fats, and drinking lots of water as well. Being allergic to the sun early morning is my go-to. Oh, there you go. Good job. Good job. All right, cool. All right, Marty, let's get to the fit tip. I know we got Will trying to work it out there on the backside there. He's got some problems with his speaker, it seems like. So, but Will Harris is working out on the back end. Marty going to do the fit tip, and then we're going to come back, talk a little bit of yoga, guys. Marty, let's get after it, brother.
All right, let's get it. All right, man. This fitness tip is for the beginners or people who are still trying to find their way in the gym. We're going to talk about building confidence. So a lot of people, when they start their fitness journey, they're not confident to begin with, right? They're worried about all types of things. They're worried about every little detail. And one thing is they're worried about other people looking at them. They might be doing a movement wrong. They might look a little lost, a little bit uncomfortable. And so they're worried about someone judging them. Listen, nobody gives a shit what you're doing in the gym. People have their lives. They have work. They have kids. They have things that they're stressed out with. They're not worried about you. So get that thought out of your head instantly, right? Now, you're going to start off with these movements. It might look ugly. It might be uncomfortable. You might have to do it with lightweight. But the power of showing up will allow you to increase the weight. It'll allow you to improve your form. And over time, you're going to develop confidence. And when you develop the confidence, guess what happens? You're going to be on the other side of this situation. Eventually, someone's going to look at you and be thinking that you're looking at them like they're crazy because they're a beginner. And it's just an ongoing cycle. So don't ever think that you're so special or you're looking so weird and so insane that people are going to stop what they're doing and judge you. If anything, if you're at a good gym, someone will probably help you. But don't let little things like that discourage you from your journey or make you feel super uncomfortable to make you stop. So get in there and let's work. That's the fitness tip for today.
It's sad, Marty, sometimes. People just, they get nervous about how somebody's going to
Yeah, it's bad, man.
Right.
It's really sad. I deal with people like that all the time, man. So I got to feed them energy and confidence. So that was just fresh on my mind, you know.
Feeding confidence. Interesting. Yeah. True
Yeah.
story.
True story. Yeah, like I was talking to someone today how, like, you know, being in fitness, it's not just exercise. Like, you're changing the trajectory of someone's life.
Yes.
And so something small like that's going to take you out the gym, right? If I have the power to change the trajectory of someone's life, like, this is an important conversation. I got to be a little bit empathetic, you know?
Yes. Yeah. I was, my brain was fucking messed this morning, man. Starting the loop off of the week, just a messy brain. So you know what I chose to do? So I run on Mondays, but I chose to do what I never, ever do.
Mm-hmm.
And I took a page out of something Anderson said last week, and I just did it. I didn't even think about it. I did a 30-minute hit run on my treadmill today.
Oh, that's good stuff.
Because my brain was just a mess. I was anxious.
Crush it, baby. Crush it.
And I just said to myself, you know what? I didn't even think about it. I heard Johnny going, the best thing to do, get out of the hit. And I'm like, fucking doing a hit right now. And Marty opened up my Peloton app, found the first thing, said hit. I said start, and I just started. I didn't even think about it. And I was like, okay. And I bring that up, Marty, because you lean into confidence. That gave me confidence. By the end of those 30 minutes, I felt much better with myself. Right. So it's that same thing, right?
Yeah. That's sometimes to get that confidence going, you got to get a little ugly. You got to get a little dirty.
Yes.
So, and that's what that hit run was for you.
Yeah, that's exactly.
100%. It's just shaking all that shit off. You know, all that anxiety can't hold on when you bust it out like that. But you know, Mark, when I was taking a piss, I was listening to your tip, and you know, my response to those people, you're not that important.
Yeah.
Nobody's fucking watching you. Everybody's watching themselves. See those fucking mirrors? They don't look at you.
That's true. That's real shit. I know when I'm lifting, I ain't worried about Bob over there in the corner.
Hell no.
Beginning his journey, you know.
but our brains convince us that somebody is worrying about us, and that always becomes a challenge, doesn't it? So
yeah.
Hey guys, so I themed today's show about yoga, and I know we talked about we've kind of teased over the last few weeks about yoga and stretching and so forth, and I you know, the deep dive for me today was about so a few years back, it was actually a few years back, just before the pandemic happened. I found my body getting quite tight. I was approaching 50, you guys, and my body was tight. My hammies were tight. Johnny, I talked to you about I was having struggles getting my socks on and just doing some basic stuff. And I started doing yoga, and it has actually changed my life. And it's now
changing shit, dude, for sure.
Yeah, and I wanted to bring it up and talk about it with you, little gentlemen, because I think there still is a perception in the world around yoga that it's this. It's just this kind of pussyish, this soft, and I don't care the judgment part of it. I'm bringing it up because regardless if you call it yoga or stretching, it changes your body. When you can touch your toes and sit down and get off the shitter without hurting and just doing basic movement, like we talk about hiking as we get 60, 70, 80, 90 and doing these crazy things. Yoga, aka stretching intentionally, Marty, Johnny, intentionally. And I know, John, you sit every single day and stretch, and Marty, you do your stuff. But I really wanted to kind of have a few minute kind of dialogue around the unexpected benefit, not only to my body, but even mentally. Like just how I feel by just constantly intentionally stretching. Marty.
Yeah, I was going to say, man, even when so that's why I stretch first thing in the morning.
Yeah.
Because it makes me feel better. It makes me walk better.
Yeah.
Which is going to lead to positive thoughts. Right, it's early in the morning. I got clients coming in. I don't like talking to people early in the morning.
Yes,
but that yoga / stretching, right? It puts me in a better state, I guess.
Yes,
and you know that gets my day going, and I have a positive day.
You know what you know what was for me, Marty? The game changer for me was intentionally realizing it wasn't just laying around. You know what I mean by that? Like, because I think sometimes when we think of stretching, it's like, oh, you're just sitting there and you're just touching your toes. Well, you are, but if you're intentional with it in your brain and your body, it actually it's work. It hurts.
It's work, and it gets you to learn your body, because you know this isn't supposed to feel like that. I'm not supposed to be in this type of pain. So maybe let me keep coming back to this so I can feel better, so it doesn't hurt when I do these movements. You know.
Yes. Yeah.
Just chipping away at it a little bit every day is all it takes.
Well, and I think that's what we often forget about, right? And that our muscles in our bodies like an elastic band, and you might not be feeling it on the Monday, but if you start touching your toes on Monday, and you're like, I can only get halfway up my shins, but then as the week goes on, and you're actually touching your toes by Friday, you're like, holy smokes, it's actually working, right? I can tell you that it's been an absolute game changer for me. Adam Holroyd's coming in with yoga is hard. There's nothing easy about yoga. It's so true, Adam. And the thing for me is that it's not just a physical thing. It's, when done properly, it's full upstairs in the brain too.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Right. So, and I've enjoyed it because, guys, when I started my yoga journey, I replaced meditate. So I was doing some meditating, and then I stopped my meditating and moved it into yoga. And I really, in many ways, combined the practice. Right, where I use the yoga and meditation all as one, right? So Peaches coming back with big hugs and love to y'all. Got to get these kiddos up, and the day started. Good to see you, Peaches, 100%. Peaches, love to know where you join us from every single day. I'd love to know where you're hanging out and joining us from in the morning. And I see Will Harris still trying to sort his situation out there in the green room. Jimmy, I see that, which is awesome. Marty, what do you got going on today, Marty?
We got I got some stuff I'm working on. I got to tell you about, but that's going to be later in the day. And I'm just be at the gym with the old white guys kicking it, man.
Nice. We got Peaches from Arizona, which is awesome. Was that Marty you were gonna say?
No, I was gonna say, and I had some good sessions this morning. And so nice. Man, just a regular day.
Nice, awesome.
Oh, and my mom got her washing machine fixed, so she won't be interrupting the show anymore. So
awesome. That's awesome. Well, why don't we do?
Did you see the pictures I put up of us yesterday?
No, I did not actually. No, I have not been on the gram here today. Let me see. Oh yeah. Oh, I've seen those before. Yes, I love those ones. That's you guys did your trip to Dubai, eh?
Yeah. So that was pretty cool. Yeah.
That's awesome. All right. Well, I'm suspecting you're getting out of here, Marty.
Yeah, I gotta get going, man.
You gotta rock and roll, buddy. Johnny, let's do the lifestyle.
Yeah, have a good day, brother. Good to
see you. With Johnny, then I think we've got Will Harris set up, so we'll come back with Will, and we'll have a chat with Will. Marty, have an awesome day, brother. We'll talk to you later, okay, pal?
You too. See y'all tomorrow, man.
All right, for sure. All right, Johnny, let's do lifestyle tip, and then we'll come back with Will Harris, and then I have a habit stack hack. My goal is to start introducing these into the show here, so we have an intentional new segment I'm working on introducing here. Today's is about the push-up password. We're going to drop that later on in the show. Good time. I tried assisted stretching. Good for you, man. I like that it's quote unquote assisted. That's good time. Who assisted you would be the question I would have. All right, let's do the lifestyle tip, Jimmy with Johnny, and we'll come back with Will Harris. Let's do it.
All right, we're going to kind of continue off of what Marty was talking about with the gym, but it's really it really just kind of opens up the topic I'm going to talk about. See, so many of you guys, you're more worried about what people are going to say when you fail or when you look stupid or when you suck at something than the actual failure or the moment of learning to do something. You see, when we start doing something new, we're supposed to suck. The next time you suck a little bit less. But here's the thing. And I say this to myself, so I'm not just saying it to you guys. Anytime you're worried about what people are going to say, if that's got your goat, just remind yourself, I'm not that important. Everybody's got their own problems to deal with. We live in a fast-paced world. Nobody's sitting around looking at you. If you think about it, it's like one of the most narcissistic thoughts you can have. Everybody's looking at me. Are they? Remember, you're not that important. Go get your shit done and stop worrying about what other people are going to think. Because the magic you're looking for, it's in the work you're avoiding. Rock and roll.
Johnny, great message. So many of us are so worried about what others are thinking. And the reality is nobody really actually cares.
Well, and then the flip side of that is, like every time I bring someone new on board and, they start getting up to speed with the social media channels, they're like, yeah. And it happens almost every time. They're like, are you okay? Well, what are we talking about here? Yeah, I'm fine. Well, there's so many bad comments on the social media. I'm like, listen, if they're not saying that stuff, you don't have a job. So thank you. Am I okay? I'm fucking fine. Let these motherfuckers keep punching the algorithm, because without it, I'm not fucking traveling the world to multiple properties having the fun I'm having. So keep on hitting that shit. Yes, keep talking that smack. Let's go.
Johnny, I'll tell you a funny story, man. I was growing ICUC, and when we were growing the company, we were all over the media, because we were working with big newspapers and so forth. And my name was out there, and I bought this Tesla Roadster. And there was some dude just trashing me out there in the comments about me buying Teslas. So I commented back. I was like, yes, keep bringing the negative comments out, because your negative comments allow me to buy more Teslas. So I was like,
yeah, thank you. That's exactly why I could buy this, because you're talking all that mess. Keep on going, baby.
Smack, brother. I'm not buying a fucking $200,000 car. So bring it on, brother. Just bring it on.
That's all right. If they're talking smack, you're on the right track.
That's exactly it. Speaking of talking smack, being on the right track, we got the smart guy in the green room who figured out the tech. Will Harris, brother. Good to have you in, man.
Good to have you.
Brother?
I hope you guys can hear me. It's been a typical Monday.
We got you. We got you clear. Loud and clear, baby. Loud and clear.
Right.
Hold on. Harris, you said typical Monday, brother. Give us a snapshot into your typical Monday, my friend.
My Monday starts at 4:30.
Yeah.
Meditation, gym time, and then straight to the work. Emails, dedication to clients, employees, meetings. Just always have something technological going wrong. It doesn't matter what it is.
Where are you joining us from this morning, Will?
Dallas, Texas.
Oh, Dallas, Texas. So I'm not sure if you're a hockey fan, Mr. Will, but if you see my jersey on.
Oh, fuck,
Yeah, I see it.
Here we
But
go.
I'm an okay fan. You could stump me with a lot of questions for sure. I'm more into basketball, but that's a whole other discussion.
Yeah.
Brother, I don't know shit about hockey either, so we're on the same page. He gets on here, starts yammering about that stuff. I didn't even know there was 3 periods. I thought there was 2.
Today, Will Harris is the founder of the Hustle Marketing and Design, and yes, he's the guy whose red sneakers are as legendary as his branding strategies. Will's not just he's not just helping businesses grow; he's helping them fall in love with their own stories again. He went from scaling a company from 10 to 110 employees to rescuing another from internal sabotage and skyrocketing sales to nearly $1 million bucks. William's approach is anything but average. We're diving into bold branding and purposeful strategies. And Will, you're joining us from Dallas here today. Let's get into it, brother. So you talked about your morning routine. You use the word hustle as more than a brand. It seems like it's a philosophy that shows up in everything from your agency to your podcast to your shoes on his feet. Talk about what hustle means to you, Will.
I mean, it could have that derogatory term, like especially back in the 90s, hustle was a different version. But now with entrepreneurship on the rise, a lot of people, and unfortunately, you have to have multiple means of income to even survive now. Not to get ahead, but just to survive.
Baby. Isn't it? It's a state of mind.
And so a lot of people had their quote unquote side hustle, and we wanted to take that side hustle, and because usually that's their passion of what they're doing, and take it and make it like their own company to where that's all they had to do. So that's where it came from.
I love that, brother. Love that. We talk about that often, man. I love that. That's killer.
And I like how you've reframed the word hustle, because you're right. For the longest time, it's there has been a negative connotation attached to it, right?
Yeah.
And you're like, no, I think there's a positive way it can spin this. What I'm quite intrigued about, Will, is...
Well, let me just... I guess I've been dying to say this. Will, something about red shoes. I got like 7 pairs of red shoes. I love the red shoe thing. I want to hear more about it.
Well, it's funny, Johnny, because that's exactly it. What's the origin story behind the red Nike Air Maxes? And how did it become your personal brand symbol, Will?
So, true story. I grew up in a very low income area. So being who I am and being Caucasian or white, I was definitely the minority, and my closest friends were black. And so I took on that dress, I took on that attitude, Jordans, FUBU, all that, Tommy Hilfiger, all that stuff was what I wore. Well, going to high school, totally different concept. It was majority white, it was upscale. A lot of rich kids, and so it just didn't mesh. My style did not mesh at all. So I was being picked on one time, and a gentleman said, "Hey, if you're going to wear stuff like that," and I've used gentleman loosely, "if you're going to wear stuff like that, then you need to," and he used a derogatory term. He goes, "You need to go hang out with those people." And so and it really and I wasn't used to that like where I was, that it just didn't exist. And so at that day, I had bought my first pair of red Jordans on my own, and I was so proud of them because my parents couldn't afford them,
Yeah.
and so they were red, and it just, I don't know, for some reason that day burned an imprint in my head. I know exactly what he was wearing. I knew who it was. I still know who he was, or who he is, and that just whole moment was just, it just burned. And so having the red shoes, it was now a motivator to A, not be an asshole, and B, to be so much more successful than people like that it just was a huge motivator for me. So now anytime I have that day that's, maybe it's hard, maybe it's a struggle, maybe I'm not motivated, I wear the red shoes as a reminder to put my ass in gear and get shit done.
It's a symbol, isn't it?
Yeah, for the most part, yeah. So I was doing a podcast. I had my own podcast at the time when I had the time to do them, and I gave every guest a pair of red shoes and just told them, define your own success. Here you go. And so,
The red shoes for me have a kind of a, they're a trigger for me too, because obviously when I was young and trying to establish, being good with who I was and not really caring what other people said, I would dress very much what you'd consider inside the box, right? But then as soon as I started getting a little momentum and started not caring, boom, I think I went to, because I love shoes. So I went to bright colored shoes right away, and red, one of my favorite colors. So the red shoes, once I started wearing red shoes, to me, that was like, okay, you're learning to not give a fuck.
Mm-hmm. That's interesting to hear you say it, Johnny, because I can a gazillion % relate to you. Sold my company for a few dollars, went to Vegas, did some shopping, and
a few dollars, dude, be like $50 million. Be honest here. Jesus
thanks,
Christ.
Johnny. Thanks, my brother. I ended up in a John Varvatos store, bought myself a wonderful pair of laceless collaborative Converse John Varvatos red shoes, awesome, and then walked down the hallway and bought myself a wonderful pair of red Pradas. Oh, and my two favorite pairs of shoes I still wear. I wore yesterday a red shoe. So when I knew you were coming on here, I was like, yes, the red shoe guy. And it's funny because there's a statement with red shoes. There really is.
Well, it really stands out. Red and all these crazy colors, like they got the neons and shit. I mean, I think it's great. I think when people are expressing themselves through what they wear, it means they've kind of taken that step.
Yeah. Was that Will, when you bought those red shoes and you've worked your journey on, have you done collabs with Nike, or have you?
No, being a small fish compared to them,
of course.
I reached out one time, but that went to the wayside. I'm sure.
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you often talk in your branding and your material and the stuff that I was reading about you. You often talk about helping clients fall in love with their brand. Mm-hmm. When a client comes to you, what's usually missing when they first come to sit down in front of Will Harris? And have they fallen out of love with their brand, Will, or they have it, or they are not in love in the first place, or where are they in their journey? And you're like, I see what you're missing.
Yeah,
good question.
It's really all over the place, to be honest with you. There's no one point. It may be a point of they don't know what they don't know. It may be a point where somebody is confusing marketing with sales when they're two totally different things. It may be also a point to where they just don't know what they want to do and they just want to make a lot of money, which is not a good place. I'll be honest with you, that's not a good place to be. It's okay to want to make a lot of money, but try not to do something just to make a lot of money, because 9 times out of 10 it doesn't work because you're not passionate about it.
Real quick, brother, you said something that I think just a simple explanation would be helpful. The difference between marketing and sales. I think someone that's starting a side hustle probably can't define that.
Yeah. So as a marketing agency or a marketing company, our job is, here's a great example. Our job is to lead the horse to the water. It's your job to get him to drink.
Mm-hmm. And that's a great way. That's good.
Yeah, that's the best way to say it. So I'm going to do creative advertising, ways to get you noticed, people to see your brand. But if your product sucks, or your customer service sucks, or your sales team sucks, I can't help that. That's a totally different animal that you got to deal with. But if you want the attention and you want people to know who you are and your brand and everything, absolutely, we can do that all day long and fill you with leads.
So, Will, why do so many business owners get that wrong? And then from your point of view, what's the cost of that confusion?
Well, the cost of the confusion is huge. It really is. But I think they just get it wrong because they just don't know any better, or they've talked to we're every industry is flooded or saturated, if you will. Everybody's a roofer, everybody's a marketer, everybody's a construction guy, whatever. It doesn't matter. So you have to stand out in a way. So we're very transparent in our conversations. And so telling the client, having that transparent conversation of defining the two is it's a really important conversation, and telling them like this is what needs to be done. And the problem that we face, there's so many marketing industries that promise the world, they overpromise and underdeliver, that it causes that persona that, hey, marketing company does both.
Totally,
And that's the issue we run into. Yeah.
So when you say that the market is flooded, would you say that, because I have a view on that, is that the market is flooded with a copy of a copy of a copy of a copy.
Yes.
It's not flooded with authentic, unique people who teach people to do something differently, or, when you're in an industry, but yet you're doing something that other people are not, that's really then you become it's not flooded with that. Would you agree?
No, I 100% agree. AI is a great tool, but a lot of marketing agencies are using that solely for their clients, which is not fair. Anybody can type in, give me a strategy for a med spa for marketing. That's great, but where's the campaigns that are going to come from, that are going to grab people's attention, where maybe you put on there and be like, hey, we have beautiful people that stab you in the face. Okay, from a med spa, that's going to grab someone's attention, not what AI is telling you to do.
Well, that's perfect, brother, because Keith and I often talk about how AI is creating, this version of the world that really is getting away from that authentic person. And I think, when you use an AI to do something like this, you're becoming more of that copy of a copy, when in actuality, you've got to attach yourself to your authentic self, what your authentic position, and you got to market that. And can AI do that? I so agree with that. I don't think that really AI can learn who you are, but I don't know. I'm still a big proponent of the person who, exposes who they are to be different, and that's what makes them unique.
Speaking of exposing ourselves, we got Bernard Artles in the comments here. Good morning, Bernard. I see you there. Bee-driven equipment. Good to have you here. And Will, you mentioned a roofer. Well, hey, we got a roofer in the community this morning. We got Will. We got Matthew Roof joining us. And guys, he wore his red Ralph Lauren slip-ons to his losing virginity session. Yeah, so think about that, boys. He got up one day. It was probably a couple weeks ago, I'm thinking, Roofy, right? He got up and strapped. He's got a few kids. He strapped his red Ralph Lauren's on and walked on and lost his virginity in his red Ralph Lauren's. You're hanging out with Will Harris, John Anderson, and Keith Bilous this morning on Mornings in the Lab with Keith and Friends. Will, I want to go back to the question actually about falling out of love with the brand, though, because we were talking about it and then we kind of moved into marketing and sales. But when somebody is sitting in front of you and you're getting the impression that they have fallen out of love with their own brand, what are they missing?
I think it's a lot of it's just mental. Maybe it's brand fatigue. Maybe they've struggled, and then they're at that crossroad to where, do I give up and start something new, or do I just keep going?
Yeah.
Is it, and part of it is their idea is it a logical idea? Is what they're trying to accomplish, is it even going to work in today's world? You can have the greatest idea, but if the economy is not ready, then it's not, it's not going to happen. And another, good example of that is Ozempic. So think about it. You guys are in the fitness industry. Yeah. So in the 90s, how much shit did people get for being on steroids and taking a needle? Okay, a lot. Well, what the hell are people doing now with Ozempic? Every day they're taking a needle every day to lose weight. It's the same concept. It's just the world wasn't ready for it. And so it's the same thing with your brand or your company. You just have to, it has to be at the right time and what you're trying to do.
Brother, I've never had a job. Came out of college, went right into free enterprise, right into entrepreneurship. My first crack at a business was fucking meal prep. This is like 1994. Just like you said, if I was, I was just a decade too soon, actually probably more than that. But yeah, I was just, nobody was up to, I mean, I was doing it, but I was such a minority. Nobody, like I said, the world, the economy wasn't ready.
Yep.
So then, Will, what does it look like? So let's continue this journey. Somebody sat down with you and they're maybe falling back in love with their brand, or you're talking it through with them. Are they really in what you're calling is a plateau effect? Like, are they now sitting in front of you and you go, oh, I think you're actually at a plateau right now? And if they are, how do you help them break out of that feeling? Will?
I think I don't think it's the same thing as a plateau effect.
Okay.
I think truly if you're falling out of love with your brand, it's really from that mental exhaustion. It's from spinning your wheels. You're not getting anywhere. It's frustration and what have you. I think with the plateau effect, that happens because a lot of people will get comfortable, and COVID kind of set that apart too, because something came in and really disrupted everybody's market. It really showed some people that maybe they weren't willing to do anything and everything to survive as their business. Now, don't get me wrong, there's some people that just didn't have a choice. There's nothing they could do. But there's other people that they were so complacent with their business model that they stayed at that plateau level, and it really showed when COVID came, because they weren't in the digital world. So then they couldn't do an e-commerce store or anything, because they never cared to learn. They never cared to grow. Well, when other people grew, then that's what caused the problem. Same thing with AI. I mean, I give shit on AI a lot, but at the end of the day, it's an amazing tool, and it's very powerful. The companies that don't use AI, they're going to be the ones that fall behind. They will. It's just inevitable. And so it's the same thing. You can't stay in that plateau level, or you'll just get passed up.
Well, I had this conversation with a company last week, and I'll role play with you. If I was working with you, my expectation is you are using modern tools, and you're not using the like these tools that we invented 100 years ago. Right. So, and I think sometimes people are like, oh, but I don't want to use AI. Well, what, you don't want to use? Oh, you're going to go back and use an encyclopedia and a map?
Like, no, you're going to get in the horse and buggy.
Right. Like, and that's where I get disconnected with some folks who are reluctant to move forward. But you brought up COVID, and obviously much has changed, and there was much impact in the marketing and business world with that. What was the hardest branding mistake that you've had to help a client recover from in the last 5 years?
So, man, there's a lot. There's one problem that I had to help with a lot of people that actually got people in a bind. They were using, again, these marketing companies that really didn't do their research, and this was a big deal. This really changed the mapping of Google and their algorithm. People were using keyword searches like hand sanitizer, because it was like the number one word. Well, the reason they're doing that is because it was getting them in front of literally millions of people.
But not the right people.
Yeah, not the right people.
Maybe not the right people, but you have those people with knee-jerk reaction that see something, they buy it. And so Google, yeah, think about it. Like, if you have a word where millions of people are coming and you're targeting that word and your product is coming up, they're still seeing it. Well, Google noticed this, and they didn't just red flag your account. They shut your account down immediately. So you lost everything in that account. So you had to rebuild it. Yeah. And so it was really getting involved in doing that and helping them. The other part, kind of like a twofold to your question, the other part of the marketing side was really just growing creativity to people. A lot of people just don't have that mindset to be creative, which is fine. You have people you hire for that, but they would just lose the creativity of doing their business, and they would, they would cheap out and hire, somebody to do them a quick little logo, had no passion behind it, had no meaning behind it, and then try to go off to the races. And that's a big problem to have when you're competing with hundreds of other people doing the same thing.
Yeah. Johnny.
I was just going to say COVID, man. It was like there was two types of people that got recognized really quick. There was the ones that were happy to learn the helplessness, and there was the people that recognized there was an opportunity here. And when you could basically level up during that time, once things lifted, things were going to explode. Of course, everybody took a hit when COVID started, but by the time COVID was coming to a close, I was already had a different trajectory going. And then once the shackles lifted, it took off, So I guess I'm just wanting to point out to, if you're one of those people who has learned helplessness and you're holding on to that shit, let go of it.
Well, and it's interesting because Bernard Artis, one of our commenters here, says COVID was a blessing in disguise. It changed, it forced people to work for themselves with the skills that they have. It created forced self-growth and if you didn't, you got left behind. You had to learn new ways. You had to be creative. You had to go and uncover new opportunities, or else you were going to get left behind. It was essentially forced self-growth, as Bernard says. Comments on that, Will?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think so. I think COVID also identified real entrepreneurs.
Yes.
Yeah, for sure. Because entrepreneurs, all we do is solve problems. That was a problem to solve.
You had to pivot.
You mean all the fake ones in Canada that just gracefully accepted all the liberal checks that were printed out every couple of weeks from my government? Those weren't the real entrepreneurs. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't want to get political for a second. Let's keep the conversation going, Will.
But you had to pivot. I mean, that's when I the same thing as you, John. I had a trajectory that changed. I was consulting at the time for brands and marketing, and I saw like a area of help to help people with their social media and e-commerce stores and everything like that, because that's the only way they could have done business for a period of time.
Yep.
Yeah. Yep. Hey, Will, what's you say that positive vibes create positive opportunities. I'm a big believer in that. I know Johnny's a big believer in that. We're big believers in, movement creates momentum. But how do you keep your own energy high through tough business moments? You talked about, you started a conversation with, it's Monday. It's kind of like, man, it's kind of a tough Monday so far. You strike me as a positive dude.
I am. I thrive off positivity. I'm rarely negative, and I've been through a shitstorm. I really have. Last year,
share with us.
Last year I had about 6 to 7 inches of my colon removed.
Mercy! What was it? Was it cancer?
No, I suffered through a hereditary disorder called diverticulitis.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
So, friends with that. I'm sorry.
And so I put it off for a very long time till it got so bad that I had to go in and have emergency surgery. And even then, after coming out of that, I came out stronger because I was motivated to get back, share my story about taking care of yourself, which I did not do, and help people in the entrepreneurship and fitness world, like, hey, just because you look healthy doesn't mean that you're healthy, that you're truly healthy on the inside. And so using that as a motivator really, really helped me. But for me on marketing, it's powerful. And the reason I say that is I'm technically in every industry. So it's like I'm a multiple industry business owner, which I help these brands do stuff. I can have a conversation, an intelligent conversation about roofing, about airlines, med spas. I mean, it's just it doesn't matter. So I don't get bored doing the same thing over and over, because we have so many different clients that we're working with that it's day to day. It's like a whole different business.
Yeah. Will, share some insights for me and Johnny here, because one of the things that struck me in your journey is you took a client's team from 10 people to 110 people. And I've been fortunate to scale a business. What was that secret behind that kind of scale for you?
Blueprint and consistency. Figuring out that literally that blueprint of what works, of when you need to scale, because that's one of the biggest problems businesses face is, when do I need to hire somebody? When do I need to scale? And so having that blueprint, literally it was just copy and paste from the next person to the next person to the next person, and putting them in the right place. And the biggest thing to be sure that you understand how to do is not setting people up for failure. So ensuring that your teammates or your employees, or however you address them, being sure that they're not set up for failure and they're in the right position, that they're going to contribute.
Yes, that's so good, brother. Because one of the first things that is that in fitness industry, I help people with basically scaling their businesses as well, and with their online coaching businesses. And one of the things I look at is, let's not worry about hiring people to help you. Let's make sure that your systems are efficient, because if your systems are wasting time, all you're going to do is bring people on and waste more time. It's not efficient. So nailing that system, make sure that the system is effective, is, most people just miss that. They think scaling is just more heads.
Yeah, and they make it so difficult, but really systems, you do them every day. You have a system how you do laundry.
100%.
Yeah,
Everything, dude.
yeah. You
Everything.
have a
I get out of the shower. I put lotion on my skin. I've done that since I was a little guy with eczema. 3 pumps on each leg, 4 pumps on the upper body, 1 pump on the head. It's everything is a system.
yeah,
I even
and so
have a
you just
system for wiping my ass.
yeah, you just take that and you use that into your business, and you
Yes.
do the same thing. It's just got to be efficient. That's all.
Yes.
But Will, John and I talk about it often. Why do you think people are so afraid of systems, habits, accountability, repetition? And then they come to you, me or Johnny, going, I'm not having success. And we're like, yeah, but you're not in a regular system. But yet people are so scared of that. You know, Johnny, Flynn would shake him. We love Christina Flynn. Flynn often would say to us, Johnny, she couldn't function in a structure. Yet she was wondering why there was no success. Will, why do you think people are so afraid of a system?
I don't know if they're necessarily afraid of a system, other than they're afraid of letting go and trust.
Think about
So like,
sports. So I'm sorry to interrupt, but think about sports. Think about basketball. You know, a successful basketball team plays a system, and you guys have been around enough teams where like that guy's not playing the system. They're not winning. They're not. So bringing it back, Will, is it because they don't trust it?
Well,
Well,
real
think of
quick, let me
both.
jump in before Will talks. Let's go like to the most basic thing. People are afraid of the unknown. The
Yeah.
unknown will get them to not step forward. You know, the first step is usually the hardest. So you're talking about a system or a habit. That means they've got to cross outside their comfort zone.
We got to find trust in what you're saying. Is what you're saying, actually, Johnny. You're saying trust me. What I'm telling you, this system will work. Trust me. That's like a
Well,
coach.
and these are people that usually are afraid to step out of the comfort zone in any part of their life. So it's
Yeah.
going to be difficult, even if they have a guide.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you brought up a good point when you said about basketball. Teams that don't have systems are the ones that fail. Well, that's exactly the same thing in the business. So the
Oh,
guy
yeah.
that's supposed to be in the system and pass the ball to the other guy to take the 3-point shot to win the game.
Yeah.
If he doesn't trust that guy to do it, he's going to take it on his own. So just like a business owner,
Right.
if
Yep.
I don't trust an employee to do something, that business owner is just going to do it on their own because they feel that they can do it better. And
Or
that's where
replace
the
that
problem is.
person.
Yeah.
And then
Or not hire anybody at all and just be bogged down and have no time.
Yeah.
yeah.
You can't be the product of your business. You only have so much time during the day.
Yeah. Well, as I was doing research for you and for this conversation today, I got to tell you, man, I found that, within your content, you have a consistent focus. You may know this, you might not, but I want to call it out because I think it's quite powerful. You have a consistent focus in your content on trust and empowerment, which suggests to me that it reveals this emotional intelligence that frankly is often overlooked in marketing. Like, you're not just building brands, Will Harris, you're healing them. People are coming in and you're saying, you're empowering them. You're building trust around them. Was that intentional on your behalf? And I'm going to assume it was, or has this kind of come out accidental just through your journey?
It was a lot of it was intentional, because a lot of business owners, before they pass that threshold, they're terrified. They're scared to fail. Just like y'all were talking about earlier, they're scared of what people may think. They're scared of people talking. They're scared of not being able to provide for their family. I think a lot of it's just fear, and we as a society have put so much emphasis on defining what success should look like, when you should define your own success. I think that's the biggest problem, and that's where I've told people, like, look, some of your most successful people have filed bankruptcy multiple times. It's not the end of the world. And as an entrepreneur, I mean, a lot of people will disagree with me on this, but as an entrepreneur, most people hide their income anyway through tax laws and tax write-offs and buying stuff, and their CPA makes it look like they make nothing on paper. So if that's the case, then what are you scared of? You can always make money. You can always make more money. You can always go back to a 9 to 5. So I teach them all this, and I show them the differences of what they can do. And it's okay to have a 9 to 5 and do your entrepreneurship until you get comfortable. And a lot of people don't agree with that, but I never understood why. If you
Brother,
want to put in the hours, do it.
I'm sorry to interrupt, but that's what we talk about all the time. Listen, find what you like to do, find your passion, and just commit an hour a day and start working on monetizing that because you love it. You're going to get good at it. And pretty soon, your side hustle eclipses your 9 to 5, and you're onto a better life.
Yeah. Yeah. And especially if you have a partner that's supportive with you and can really like chase your goals with you, it makes a huge difference.
That's probably one of the hiccups when you say brother is that, a lot of times you find, excuse me, you find that, one of the two in the couple has that bigger vision, and the other one is scared of that vision. And we know that when we're scared, we make different decisions than when we're not.
Yeah.
So we got a question from Scott Benzie coming in here, and just it's relating to this as well. Will, when we're talking to somebody, does somebody need to hear that it's okay in a certain way? So when you're communicating to somebody about, stepping outside of their boundaries or taking a next step or chasing entrepreneurship or chasing a hustle, that it is okay. Like, is there a different way to reframe that conversation? Let's talk Benzie. Benzie's got a job. He's like, but I'm thinking about going over there, but I don't know how, and I'm scared of it. How do you reframe the okay, Will Harris? Do you know what I'm asking?
Well, yeah, it's just first off, it's you ask the simple question. Well, what are the fears? What are you scared of? And then you offer the solutions. Well, I'm scared I'm not going to make enough money. Okay, well, keep your 9 to 5. I'm scared people are going to judge me. Who gives a fuck about what people think about you? I'm scared of not providing for my family. Well, you got a partner. Y'all guys talk it out and come up with a strategy and a solution. There's a solution for every fear that comes among entrepreneurship. It's just, are you willing to do it or not?
Yeah. And then we have Matthew Roof coming in with just checking out Will's content, crushing a foundation to support the young entrepreneurs. Uncommon kindness in action. Roof, you guys got to meet Will Harris. You're going to need to meet Matthew Roof. He's all about uncommon kindness. And clearly you're supporting young entrepreneurs there, Will Harris, which is awesome. And they've got Lady Drew coming in with fears from Satan. And that thing does not want individuals to be successful. Yep. And I often say this, Will, imagine if you were successful, because we always think we're going to fail. But yet I want to invite people to think, imagine, Will, if you were successful at that. Holy shit. Right? So let's get to some quick hitters. Some rapid fires as we wrap up our conversation with Will Harris, who's joining us here this morning, all the way from Dallas, Fort Worth on Mornings in the Lab with Keith and Friends. Will, favorite guilty pleasure snack during a late night edit?
Popcorn. Popcorn. I used to not be able to eat it. Yeah. I wasn't able to eat it because of diverticulitis. So.
That's funny. So your whole life you couldn't eat it.
Yeah.
You get your colon taken care of. Now you're crushing popcorn. True story?
Yeah. A whole bag.
Best business book you recommend to every client?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's that and peanut butter. Those are my two guilty pleasures.
Oh, dude, don't talk about peanut butter with me. How was your best business book you'd recommend to every client?
It's such cliche, but The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck. It's a great book to manage stress. And stress is a killer, not just for business, but you mentally and physically as well.
Yeah. Do you very much lean into that philosophy, Will?
I do. And I see stuff all the time that just, again, going back to the way people judging right now, I feel like it's kind of gone viral, but there's a photo of a woman that took a picture with a Tahoe. And then there's a guy that talks about don't get into $70,000 of debt, flexing a Tahoe, be the person that has the 1990s Honda that's paid off, and da 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 da. And I'm just like, man, this guy's full of shit, because there's so many avenues of going into buying a car. First off, I'm in Dallas, Texas. Nobody's flexing a Tahoe. Okay, people drive Uruses here. So
I was going to say, whoever thinks that the Tahoe's a flex needs to fucking cover better look.
Nobody's flexing a Tahoe. But the other thing is, you don't know the reason people buy these cars. Some of them, maybe they buy it for the wrong reason because they're trying to impress other people. But some of them are tax write-offs.
100%. I'm going to say that's a great way to bear some money. 100%, brother.
I bought an R8, and it's been the best branding tool that I could have bought. It's brought me more business, and that car is now paid for because of the way I leveraged it. So it's just, going into the whole, what people think. Just use your own strategy and do what you want to do, and quit. Don't care what people want to say.
Yeah. Will, morning hustle or midnight grind?
Definitely morning. I'm in bed by 10.
Yes. So you're drinking our coffee.
So,
Most embarrassing marketing fail that you now sit back and you laugh at?
that I've completed or that somebody else has completed?
Maybe a bit of both.
I can't think of one that was really too embarrassing for me. I'm pretty cautious. I'm not saying that I don't have faults or make mistakes, but I don't know of anyone that's embarrassing. Um, yeah, I can't think of one. The one that made national news though, which is just funny. And again, I'm not judgmental. It's just they totally forgot who their audience was. But that's Anheuser-Busch and Bud Light. That whole fiasco that they went to with having that spokesperson come up that was transgender, and again, there's no judgment. I don't care. Live your life and be happy. But they totally forgot who their audience was, and
Let's lean on that one. Or did they? Or was there some strategy in that? I'm playing a game with you, Will. Was there a strategic decision in that to maybe to change the discussion around the brand?
So there's ways to do that, and that's definitely not how you go about it. And when you
did Google shut down their account because they were fishing for that?
when you have a long time history of a certain group of audience, you don't change it. Now you can strategically grow it, but you don't just all of a sudden decide overnight, hey, I'm going to change this. That would be like Nike coming out of somewhere and be like, hey, you know what? We're not going to do shoes anymore for basketball players. We're going to focus 100% into curling or ice hockey.
Yeah.
And like, it just didn't make sense at all.
Yeah. Hey, Will, if your brand had a heartbeat, what would that brand be saying right now?
Oh shit, Will, get your PR because you just brought up Anheuser-Busch.
I love it. Will Harris joining us this morning all the way from Dallas on Mornings in the Lab with Keith and Friends. Will, where can our audience connect with you, find you, engage with you, and do some work with you and get around the 8?
Yeah, my Instagram is willing to thrive. It's willing, the number 2, and then thrive. And then of course they can always reach out on the hustle mad, that's mad.com, and check us out. And also check out our foundation talking about entrepreneurship. We have our nonprofit, the hustlefoundation.org, where we give scholarships and mentoring for young entrepreneurs that were within 1 to 2 years of business.
That's huge, man. The hustlefoundation.org for young entrepreneurs. And is that available to folks in the state of Texas or all over the place? Well,
all over the place. So we just picked up a couple of new scholars that we're going to run through our program, and then we'll open enrollment back up in third quarter.
Yeah. Hey, well, I did actually have one last question. Do you have kids?
I have 2 dogs. They keep me busy enough.
Awesome. I believe me, Johnny has 2 dogs. I have a couple dogs too. Yes, they keep me busy. I was going to ask the question, how do you teach them not to give a fuck? Because you're clearly one who embraces that mindset. And I guess with your dogs, they live around with dad, and they clearly probably have a similar attitude as dad. They don't give a fuck.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, nope.
What kind of dogs do you have?
English cream golden retriever and a mini Aussie.
Oh, that's fantastic. Good for you.
My golden retriever. Yeah, my golden retriever is 15 years old.
Wow.
Still just as active. So,
wow. I mean, you've clearly given that animal a really, really good life, brother.
Yeah. He's probably traveled more places than most people.
I bet.
Yeah. I put him in first class one time, and the looks I got from him sitting in that seat was just.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
dude, that's awesome, man. I say this all the time. I'm trying to build my next empire so I can buy an airplane so I can travel with my dogs. That's just the truth, man. I don't want to, and I can get it. So me and Johnny can get an airplane to take our dogs everywhere. That's my vision, and I haven't really that's the mission. I want to buy an airplane so we can buy time and take my dogs. That's it. Simple. So I don't need nothing else. A red pair of shoes, a red airplane, and my dogs. There you go.
Just for the record straight, he could fucking buy an airplane right now, but he wants to basically earn the money to buy one without going into what he's sitting on right now.
Yes, that's exactly. Yes. Thanks, Johnny.
Yeah.
Well, we're gonna walk you out, brother. I appreciate you hanging out this morning. I know it took you a few attempts to get in, but we made it happen. Thoroughly enjoyed what you offered up here in the lab here today. Come back and hang out again with us sometime.
Yep, sounds good, guys. I appreciate the time and the opportunity.
Awesome.
Yeah.
You
Great hearing you talk, brother. Really, really cool stuff.
Yeah, I agree. And congratulations on your success, man. I love Johnny. I love hearing the journeys, right? Some guy who wakes up and he's like, fuck, people putting me down. And you talked about how you were raised in a certain community, in a certain mindset. And you're like, no, I'm not, Johnny, I'm not going to be defined by that. And that from you. You're like, I'm not defined by that. And you went and you made your own thing. And that to me is the inspiration in your story, Will. Right? Because I think, in my experience, I think John's as well, too many folks get defined. Then they're stuck there and they can't get out of it.
Right.
And the crazy thing is they've allowed that to happen.
Yes. Right. So, well, you're going to get out of here today? Where are you off to next, pal? What's your next step on your agenda this morning?
I got a presentation for a potential new client on digital advertising. So I'm going to put that together and present to him today. Good
luck with that. And I look forward to grabbing coffee later today. Okay, pal?
Absolutely. Talk to you guys later.
Awesome. All right, Will. All right, pal. All right, Jimmy, let's get Will out of here. I think Johnny's got to get himself out of here as well. And you and I are going to close up with the community corner. And we did have somebody else who was going to come in this morning, but got distracted, got some things that come up here. So, Johnny, I love when we talk to folks that were clearly on one path. That's why I brought up with Dan. He was on one path and he's like, no, that's not the path I'm going to be on. And he changed his whole life.
You know, it comes down to humans don't understand how powerful making a decision can be.
Yeah. You know, it's funny you say that, because I would suggest to you, most don't make decisions. Most avoid decisions.
Brother, 100%.
In corporate world, there's no decisions made. It's just putting them to the next quarter.
Putting shit off. Oh yeah, if I don't sign this thing, the next shift will have to deal with it. That's what's the problem with the fucking banking world. You know, you used to be able to close a deal real fast, you know. But I mean, I use excuse me, brother. I use that phrase with myself in those points of weakness. You know, like if I'm standing in front of the refrigerator like a dipshit, you know, 8 o'clock at night, dude, make a decision. You're going to decide to do something dumb, or you're going to make a decision to do something good. Go pick that book up and read a page. I tell myself all the time, make a decision.
Yes.
That's what's happening when we fuck up is we're making the wrong decision. So when you just point it out to yourself, make a decision, because you're about ready to make a decision whether you realize it or not. The question is, which one are you going to make? And once you put it, like, shine a light on that moment and that decision, how that decision will change the trajectory of the rest of your day. Yeah. Try that when you stand in front of the refrigerator, brother.
There you go. Hey, before you quickly roll out of here, we kind of, just because of the way the schedule worked this morning with Will here, I had planned on introducing our habit stack hack this morning. So before we quickly go, I want to take a quick minute with you.
Yeah,
here.
Go for it, bro. I got a couple minutes.
Yeah. So I want to introduce these to our show here throughout the next coming days and weeks. And we're working together at it. So I got one this morning.
Is this kind of a bite off of the thing we talked about a while back?
Yes. Yeah. So I want
to
keep building on it. So here's our first one. So this was kind of goofy. It's goofy, Johnny. Admittedly, it's goofy, but you got to start somewhere, because you know what? Here's the thing. Often people don't do anything because they can't get started. Well, today we're starting. It might not work, but at least we're starting, right? So I got a habit stack hack for folks today. Johnny, this one here is checking your phone builds thumb strength. Well, do you want to gain chest strength as well? Humans statistically unlock their phones more than 96 times a day. Think about that for a second. So if you unlock your phone 96 times a day, what is one additional thing you can stack on that activity? And one of the recommendations that our good old Chat GPT are offered up for a habit stack for this morning was, and again, let's have some fun with it. It may sound ridiculous. It might work. It might not. But as you open your phone, Johnny, what could you do when you open your phone? Do you drop down, do a push-up? Do you stand at your desk and just kind of do you touch your toes? So what I'm saying to you is that when you open your phone today, you swipe up your phone, there might be a stack on that habit that could help your life positively other than just opening your phone. Do you follow me, brother?
I do. And here's the, you know, I'm going to consider myself an expert in habits and stacking.
Yes,
And
I know
my
you.
argument to that is, that is a fucking huge task. I would have a hell of a time doing that. That's a lot of fucking, even if you did one push-up, even if you did one whatever.
Yes.
You know, I think that we should, I love the concept, and I think that's something that we could play. I think that given one action off
so
of
I'm thinking
one other trigger,
yes,
would be the ticket. You know what I mean?
Yes. So what I'm saying to you is, and I'm saying to your audience is what can we attach to opening up our phone? Right. So for example, is it okay? So I'm unlocking my phone right now. Maybe I send a message to my mom. Maybe I send a message to my kid. Maybe I send a little, hey, Johnny, I'm thinking about you. The point here is that we're doing one thing anyways, and we would agree that sometimes opening up our phone might be a negative action because it's a negative dopamine rush or there's something. Yep. Right. So maybe we turn that whole concept in. Okay, you're opening your phone up. As you open your phone up, the first thing you should do before you send that email to your client is send a note to your wife, your kid, your brother, your sister. I'm trying to think about.
Okay. How about this?
Yeah.
You got to basically, you open your phone for the first time. You're going to be at home.
Oh,
you got to fucking do 10 push-ups.
There you go. First,
attach your action to the first time. Because nobody's going to do a fucking 96, even if it was one push-up. Fuck, I wouldn't even do that.
No, I like that though. So I like that, Johnny. So here it is, Johnny. Jimmy, here's our cut for the day, and I'm trying to. I want to work this into segments, Johnny. I like this.
No, I like it. Let's start. This is these conversations what's going to make this thing tight.
So guys, as you start your day, the first time you open your phone, drop do 10. Johnny?
Yeah, I think that's great. You know, and realistically, I think if once that whole thing starts, really what we'd like to do, because opening the phone is the trigger.
Yes.
But really what we'd like is for you to think I have to do 10 push-ups before I open my phone. But let's start with flip the phone on, whatever. Oh, fuck, turn it off, do the push-ups, because that's the trigger.
Yes. And I want to make this even easier, brother. Even if you don't drop to the ground, if you're going to do it on your counter as you're brushing your teeth or before you brush, the idea here is to trigger a reaction. So open your phone and just start getting your chest going, guys. Like that's just it, literally it, right? And you know, and then eventually, you'll drop to the ground.
I like it. Let's call it 30 seconds of exercise. You pick the exercise.
I love that. So there you go, Jimmy. We're going to cut this up. My goal here is to chop this up into segments here, Johnny, and run them, right? Because I want these to live on their own, and I want these. My goal is to have these distributed across the platforms because these are good. Because you and I are here every single day. So my goal here is to offer a habit stack hack every day for you guys, and Keith and Johnny are going to lean into this. And then ideally, we're going to.
This is perfect, dude. You bring it on the table, and I'll simplify it so it's user friendly.
Perfect. That's awesome, man. And then guys, our goal for Keith and Johnny is getting you guys contributing as well. So Roofy and Fontana and Lady Drew, you guys bringing them to the table as well. Or Good Time, or you guys offering them up as well, right? So that we can collaborate on this collectively. We're all about routines and systems, and if we can help systems get into play by offering these little tips, everybody's winning. That's
it.
So
that's it.
All right, brother.
My brother.
Hey, pal, what do you got going? Quickly, what do you got going on right now? What do you got going on today?
I guess I got to see what time Terry wakes up after her Mother's Day adventure. My guess is that she'll be up just in time for coffee, and then we actually just when we were in Vegas, we bought a new Jeep.
Oh, dude, you didn't.
Yeah, I shouldn't say new. It's what is it? I think it's a 20 or 21. I never buy brand new. I buy something that's been well kept. But that's gonna be our Mexico commuter, if you will.
Oh yeah. Was it a plan purchase, or did it come up in your journeys?
Say again.
Was it a plan?
No, it was planned because when we realized, Terry and I was like, we want to start coming back and forth to Mexico for shorter trips.
Yes.
And if we're going to be doing that back and forth, I'm not going to be driving one of my Porsches in and out of Mexico if we're going to be doing that every month.
Yeah. I get it. Hey, Johnny, Scott Benzie, before you go, brother, $1 in a jar. Send positive messages to someone or write down changes you want to make. After 10 times, make a change, or every 10 times you open the phone and get up 10 minutes earlier every single day. Benzie's already on him, brother. He's already thinking about it.
Baby.
There you go. That's awesome. What kind of, was it a Jeep Wrangler? What was it?
Yeah, so it's it's a 4-door Sport Unlimited. So we'll probably end up taking that for a drive to learn a little, because there's so many fucking functions on these things. So we'll probably end up taking that for a drive today, and
that's fun.
Kind of getting up to speed with the new vehicle, which will be fun. So
did you buy a stick, or is it automatic?
Automatic.
Yeah.
I actually want. I was thinking about getting a stick, but the only ones I could find with a stick were too old.
Oh yeah.
They're less common.
Yeah, I know they are. Yeah, it's hard. Hey, I went to the Azores, Johnny, a few years back, actually 3 years ago, this month or this May. Every car in the Azores, all standards. You can't buy an automatic car in the Azores. They're all because it's the island, so they're all imported. These small little vehicles. They're all standard, right? So, I had a standard Jeep. They're fun to drive, very much so.
Yeah, our two-door Wrangler. That's the one that we keep in Mexico. That one's is a stick.
Oh yeah. There you go. We got Adam Holroyd coming in, but that's great. Love the Jeep. I still have a Jeep. I still drive my Jeep that I bought when Carter was born. It's 20 years old. True story. It's my daily driver. It's got 270 some odd thousand kilometers on it, but it's got lots of history. It's got lots of love in it, Johnny, and it just makes me happy, man. It makes me happy.
There you have it.
All right, pal. Enjoy your day today. Okay.
Have a good loop. I'll see you in the morning, brother.
You betcha, pal. All right, Johnny's out of here. We're back at it. Less than 24 hours with John Anderson, myself, C. Marty Fit. Yeah, Adam, you are absolutely right, man. Driving standard is becoming a lost art. I don't think there's many kids. Like Carter doesn't know how to drive standard. I haven't taught him. Matter of fact, when we went to the Azores, I will reveal to you, Holroyd, that I had Lauren drive the stick because I hadn't driven a stick in a long time. We're like, no, fuck you, drive it, man. I'm not going to sit here and battle it. So, yeah. Good old standard transmissions. Okay, Jimmy, let's get to the community corner. And Jimmy, I got something a little different here today on the show here. Jimmy, if you open up the community corner box, if you open up the community corner box there, Jimmy, within Notion, you're going to notice that I got some cool stuff in there for us. It's time for my favorite segment, Community Corner. And Jimmy, if you got some visuals there, if you can look inside the box there, Jimmy. If you look down in the box there, Jimmy, in the second opener, it says interesting stories on LinkedIn and Substack. It would be really cool to show those visually. I'm sorry I didn't get a chance to bring this up to you earlier. I'm just telling it to you on the show in front of everybody else. Yeah, we're doing our production meeting live in front of the show here for you guys. Listen. My vision for Community Corner is to roll more of the community into the show. And to do that, we're going to do that by reaching out into the community. The community's on LinkedIn, Substack. Speaking of Substack, streaming live, the full show live on Substack today. So, actually, Jimmy, I'm going to check Substack right now because I'm kind of curious how that's working out over there. Let's see here. While we're doing that, I'm just going to have a quick little check. Boopity boopity boo. I think. Oh yeah, there we go. Look at that. Streaming live. Substack page. That's pretty cool. Jimmy, it's right on the top page there. That's pretty awesome, man. I like that. Oh man, I'm excited because that's opening up. Roofy, dude, I know we're talking business, Roofy. Opening up a whole other plethora of opportunities now that we're streaming live in Substack. So officially, as of now, we're live on Substack, live on YouTube, live on X, live on LinkedIn. Jimmy, we're adding the Substack icon to all of our literature and promoting our show. I'm quite excited about that. But this segment of the show, the Community Corner, is my vision here is to bring the community into the show. And this, we're going to dive into some fascinating conversations and creative moments happening in our online communities. Like I said, Substack, LinkedIn, YouTube, and Substack. So first of all, we got somebody we're going to celebrate here, or not celebrate, talk about Jeremy Cunningham, our resident ethical and empathetic IT leader. He was shining some light on a hot topic last week. So Jimmy, there you go, Jimmy. Exactly, bro. That's exactly what I want us to do here. Let's bring this up on the screen if we can. So Jeremy made a post last week about shining light on shadow IT. And Jeremy makes a compelling case that completely eliminating shadow IT is not realistic. It's people in non-IT roles doing IT-related tasks without proper oversight. And Jeremy shared a story of a sales rep who reached out using their personal email, circumventing company policies because IT restricted their tools. Now, here's the kicker. Jeremy suggests fostering open collaborative relationships instead of strict prohibitions. And I got to say, I certainly agree. It's all about communication. What do you guys think? Does shadow IT wreck organizations, or do organizations need to fully have an IT department so that we can help us be successful with our IT? Or is there value in just kind of making it up as we go along? Jeremy absolutely has a strong opinion on that. Jeremy, who's a who's been a guest on our show. Matthew Roof coming in with, they have no clue. My father made me navigate 5 stories of a parking garage. We're talking about a standard transmission right now. My father made me navigate 5 stories of a parking garage in a standard without a stall or rollback before I was allowed to drive alone. Dude, that was fun, man. I did the same thing, driving up a hill and then just, or trying to do the clutch with the brake, with the gear to get yourself up. Good times when you're driving the standard up a hill. Jimmy, let's get to Jeff Winter's amazing Lego Titanic project. Jeff, an industry 4.0 enthusiast and digital transformation expert, swapped out. Yeah, he swapped yoga. We're talking yoga this morning. He swapped yoga for Lego. And he built a 9,090 piece, $700 Titanic model. Talk about stress relief. I'll tell you guys what drew me to this one is when I went separate ways with ICUC back a few years ago. I totally got into Lego, man. I engaged in Lego. I bought a bunch of Lego kits and I just fucking made a Lego kit after Lego kit after Lego kit. And I loved it. So I can very much relate to Jeff Winters. It is very much a good stress relief. The mammoth that you see there, it took him 55 days, 13 hours, and 21 build sessions. Jeff joked that growing up just means upgrading your toys. Very true. Jimmy, I think we got to get Jeff Winter on the show to talk about his Lego experience because that looks pretty damn awesome. And here, guys, here's the poll. Here's the poll. What's your go-to adult stress relieving activity? What's your go-to adult stress relieving activity? Is it Lego? Is it puzzles? Or is it something else entirely? I know puzzles were also coming through my house during COVID. So there was certainly some of that along the way as well. And we got Holroyd coming back with, I get slowed down so much by my IT limiting the websites and programs I can use. I have my own computer for work so they can't limit my creativity. You know, Adam, there's something to be said for that. In my experience, I love my tech friends. I love Jeremy. I love all my tech friends, but I find sometimes my tech friends become too constricting. And sometimes I ask myself, is it because it's job protection, right? Is it, and you know, how actually important is some things, right? I know that we have rules and we have parameters, we got things to do, but Adam, I can't disagree with you, man. Sometimes you got to get shit done. And sometimes getting shit done means, you know, coloring a little bit outside the lines or coloring next to the lines. And I think that to me is where I encourage guys like Holroyd saying, yeah, I got to get this done. I'm going to use my own computer. Just saying, because the bureaucracy sometimes holds us back from everything else. And, you know, sometimes we just got to get after it. Just have to get after it. All right. Lastly, for all of our marketing friends, Rachel Mason. This one was interesting to me, Jimmy. Rachel Mason from LinkedIn dropped some fire stats about LinkedIn ads. Did you guys know that videos under 30 seconds, yeah, they get 200% higher completion rates, and thought leader ads can achieve twice the click-through rates? Rachel's hosting an insightful webinar to demystify LinkedIn advertising. It's perfect if you're feeling overwhelmed. Marketers, I wonder, and I ask you, what's your favorite digital ad tip? Share below. Let's learn from each other. And that's going to wrap up today's community corner while we move into the creator spotlight. And Jimmy, let's shift some gears and dive into the creator spotlight, where we're going to celebrate some amazing creators making waves, inspiring us all. And let's see who's lighting up the spotlight today, Jimmy. And I'm going to start with, I'm going to get my music up here. My goal is to get some tunes into this whole situation. Oh, Jimmy, so can you give me the links there, brother? Because I think I might be on the wrong one then, Jim. If you want to drop the link here for me so I can make sure I'm reading the right one for you. There we go. Oh, yeah, okay, I see that. I got you. Okay, yeah, I see that, pal. That, oh, I see it. Okay, cool. I'm getting after it right now. Awesome. All right, let's see here. There it is there. Okay. Awesome. There we go. Guys, you don't need a funnel. You don't need a funnel, a Lambo or a pitch deck. You might need a Lamborghini. A Lamborghini would be fun. Jimmy, am I on the right one? I think I am. You need someone who gets what you're building and why. Because let's be honest, you're not trying to blend in. You're not chasing algorithms. You're trying to build something that feels like you. Yeah. The problem? Most creative help speaks in templates, timelines, and tactics. None of it speaks to the heart of what you're really trying to say. Well, that's where this next creator comes in. He's worked with Dodge, Ford, Ram Chargers, and the 1% of people who refuse to make bland things for every average person. This guy doesn't just design, he helps you create a brand that people feel is in their chest. The artist we're talking about this morning on Mornings in the Lab with Keith and Friends, the guy we're going to celebrate, the guy we're going to shine the light on this morning. We're interested and excited to celebrate and introduce you to Scott Fisk. Yes, what's up, Scotty? Let's crush your next design. He's the founder of I Am Next Level Creatives, brand builder, human first disruptor, and the guy behind Go Fast Apparel and Studio 669. Scott doesn't do cookie cutter. He brings identity to life with design that punches through the noise and speaks directly to your people. He's loud. He's real. He's human. And Jimmy, this guy's built a community where creators show up, throw down, and baby, they build together. If your work needs a voice, if your story needs visuals that actually hit, I invite you to follow Scott Fisk. He'll help you build a brand that lives and breathes. And Scotty, here's what we want to do, man. Yeah, just looking for my buttons, Jimmy. Scotty, here's what we want to do, man. We're celebrating you this morning, and here's how it works. We are officially inviting you, your sunglasses, and that awesome hat to the show. Yeah, true story. So we can learn who's in your orbit so that we can pass on the Mornings in the Lab creator spotlight over to you so you can shine it on somebody in the world. It's part of our creator spotlight right here on the Community Corner segment of Mornings in the Lab with Keith and Friends. Okay, Jimmy, going to the second one, Jimmy. Going to move into the Substack world where we are streaming live for the first time today. Man, Jimmy, I'm so excited we're there, man, now. I'm really excited that we got that live stream happening on Substack. There is a lot of creative expression happening on that platform that I'm quite jacked about. You scroll past those thousands of images every single day. I know you. Most disappear in seconds, but every now and then something hits different. It holds you, it slows you down, it makes you feel something. And that's what this creator does, the one that we're going to celebrate today. This guy's a photographer. But that label just doesn't come close. He's a part documentarian, a part storyteller, and a part chicken whisperer. Jimmy, do we actually have a chicken whisperer? A true story? I know we have the AI chicken wrangler, Matt Rose, but I didn't know we had a chicken whisperer. Yeah. Well, this guy's got a Substack, a visual journey from a guy who shot for them, MoMA, Google, Gucci, and the New York Times, but still spends his morning photographing chickens on self-timers. This guy's name? Jimmy, we're going to introduce this morning to everybody in Mornings in the Lab. We're introducing Noah Kalina. Yes, you might know Noah from his viral self-portrait project Every Day or from being the photographer behind cabin porn. Jimmy, we seem to be using that porn word lots here in the lab lately. Well, this guy's shooting cabin porn. Yeah, you've seen his work, even if you didn't even know it, but his newsletter goes deeper. Yep, I'm telling you, Noah, it's photography meets philosophy meets random weird joy stories about building chicken cams, meditations on hands, quiet reflection from the worlds of Lumberland, New York. Hey, Roofy, you got to go connect with Noah, man. He's up in Lumberland, New York. If you're tired of overproduced content and want to feel connected to something real again, I invite you to subscribe to the Noah Kalina newsletter. Noah just doesn't take pictures. He pays attention, and he'll make you want to do the same. So guys, go check out Noah Kalina's newsletter over on Substack and check out some of the photography he's doing. And Noah, here's how it works, man. We would love to have you on the show. True story. Love to have you on, get you in that, get that rig onto our show, and give you the light so that you can celebrate somebody in your orbit on Mornings in the Lab, the Community Corner, the Creator Spotlight. All right. I think we're wrapping it up, Jimmy. The Monday Loop is wrapping up, man. The Monday Loop is wrapping up. Going to get after it here today. We're back here tomorrow. Tomorrow, big show, huge show tomorrow. Matthew Roof joining us for the exchange. You guys, you know we have the segment. I expect the exchange to run around 10 o'clock Eastern time, 10, shortly after 10 Eastern time, because before we have that, We got a great lead into the exchange. Nicole Bernard. Yes, you guys remember Nicole Bernard. She's back. Nicole Bernard's in the lab tomorrow. We're doing a business and branding segment. Brand new segment being introduced to the show. Business and branding. Reintroducing, actually. We did it with Flynn a few months back. Nicole Bernard. We've refreshed, relaunching the segment. So we got Bernard. We got Nicole Bernard joining us on the show tomorrow. We got Matthew Roof coming up here tomorrow. Big show tomorrow in the lab. And tomorrow's discussion is, I believe it is about, ditching processed foods. I did. Yeah. We're going to talk about how it impacted my mood. And Jimmy's like, do we have a big show tomorrow? Yeah, we do. Yeah, we have a massive show tomorrow. We're going to lean into the community corner segments. We're going to lean into Nicole's business and branding segments. We're going to lean into Matthew Roofy. We're launching into Roofy's exchange segment tomorrow. A lot of great stuff. So I invite you guys to show up tomorrow, 8 o'clock Eastern time, mornings live with Keith and Friends, myself, John Anderson, C. Marty Fit, and producer Jimmy. Jimmy, let's get out of here, man. There's the sound effects. Hey, tune in tomorrow to start the show. You'll hear a brand new opener. Yeah, making soundtracks. All right, we're going to get out of here. Bernard, Holroyd, Roofy. He's had to see a chicken whisper. Oh, man. Lady Drew, good time. Benzie, fit. All of you guys. Lady Drew, I appreciate you guys. Thanks for hanging out with myself and Jimmy and the gang. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Mornings live with Keith and Friends. Uncle Keith's got to do a restroom break. We'll see you guys soon. See you guys in the morning. Lesson 24. Ciao.